So Ruby Franke has been arrested.
My kids are literally starving. I hesitate to say this because it's going to sound like I'm like a mean barbarian, but I told the kids, I said, I'm not even going to let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done.
I'm only going to say it one more time, and then you're going to lose the privilege to eat dinner.
I am not making a clinical diagnosis about her. I'm just speculating on some basic psychological information.
This morning, a Utah mom influencer arrested, facing 6 felony counts of aggravated child abuse.
Female does have duct tape around each ankle. He's not telling the RP why.
But I have to tell you, I have got many requests about this particular person and lots of questions asking, is she a psychopath? Is she a sociopath? Is she a narcissist? Well, we're going to take just a minute here and unpack a little bit of that. I'm not going to go a lot into her facial expressions and all that kind of area of body language that we normally do. I'm going to save that for when we see a little bit of court action or some type of footage that comes out that we can see her, that it's not rehearsed and that it's not scripted and it's not for a YouTube channel, to get a little bit better idea of some more baseline for her. But what I can tell you about this is that she does appear to demonstrate some very basic and traditional signs of narcissism. Let's take a look at what some of those are. One thing to keep in mind here is, of the following signs that I'm going to show you, you only need 5 of them, 5 or more, to be generally diagnosed as having narcissism. Again, I'm not making a diagnosis here, but let's look at this together. Here we go. I'll bring you here to the National Library of Medicine as we look at the Narcissistic Personality Disorder. Now, these again are basic tenets. Let's see what they are, and she only needs 5 of them. First one here is having grandiose sense of self-importance. Exaggerative achievements, expects to be recognized as superior without actually completing the achievements. It's clear from everything that I've seen from the 8 passengers footage that I was able to find, as well as the Connections YouTube channel, that she definitely has a grandiose sense of self. Generally speaking, grandiose means that you feel that you are over and above or in a position to be able to speak down to people or at least teach people. The general idea is that you feel above other people. Let's keep going. It says here that is preoccupied with fantasies of success, power, brilliance, beauty, or perfect love. Moving on, it says believes that they are special and can only be understood or should only associate with other special people or institutions. Requires excessive admiration. This one should be quite obvious. Has a sense of entitlement. Yes, she does. Such as unreasonable expectation of favorable treatment or compliance with his or her expectations. We're going to go into that in just a minute. There are very unreasonable expectations that she puts on her family, specifically on her children. You'll see that in just a minute. Let's keep going. Is exploitative, takes advantage of others to achieve their own ends. She exploits her children. That's the whole purpose of this channel. Lacks empathy and is unwilling to identify with the needs of others. This one is also more than obvious. She clearly lacks empathy. You're going to see that as we see what she does in just a minute with her 6-year-old and her 3-year-old. Is often envious of others or believes that others are envious of them. Then, of course, shows arrogance. And then, of course, shows arrogant, haughty behaviors and attitudes. Now, haughty is just another fancy word for feeling as though you are above other people. If you're arrogant, you're haughty. If you're a person that speaks down to other people, you're haughty. That's what this is talking about. She clearly does this a lot. Let me give you a couple of examples. Now, remember, she only needs to show 5 of these signs on a regular, extended basis to be diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. We call it NPD. It's more than obvious that she has more than 5 of these. Let me give you a couple of quick examples here. Watch as she tries to talk to the camera to explain that she is not going to bring lunch to her 6-year-old at school because her 6-year-old should have been responsible and remembered to bring their own lunch.
Just got a text message from Eve's teacher. She said that Eve did not pack a lunch today and can I bring a lunch over to the school? This happens quite often when you're raising children because I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch. But I responded and just said, Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, and she actually told me she did pack a lunch. The actual outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry. Hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch.
And if that isn't enough, now we're going to go to her teenage son, who I believe at the time of this story was around 15 years old. I think he's 17 or 18 now, I'm not quite sure. But watch her face as he reveals that she took away his bed privileges in his bedroom because he played a joke on his younger brother, and she had him sleep not in a bed, but on a beanbag chair for 7 months.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months, and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
You've been sleeping on a beanbag.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October, and they gave my room back like 2 weeks ago.
Now you'll notice several times in this very short clip that she squeezes her eyes shut and grins really big because she's embarrassed, number one, that the child has said it, because she clearly said, hey, we haven't told our viewers about this. And number two, she's grinning really big and looking directly at the camera even though her eyes are closed, because she wants you as the viewer to believe that this is funny. This isn't retribution. This isn't punishment. And in addition to that, she's hoping that you believe that she's a good mom and made a good decision, and that her strict rules and adherence to these rules require huge long-term consequences. Watch what she does here as she basically terrorizes what I believe is the 3-year-old, because the 3-year-old took some scissors and cut something. Watch this.
If you cut one more thing in my house, I'm going to take the scissors. Look at me. I'm going to cut its head off.
Grandma, will be so mad. Are you gonna cut anything else? No.
You promise? Look at Mama.
Now you notice that in that video, you may want to watch that part again, that she talks about it being her house. She says, in my house. I saw many other videos where the children were trying to talk about their own bedrooms, and then they would correct themselves and say, oops, I mean my mother's bedroom that she allows me to use. So it's clear that this is something in her vernacular that she uses quite a bit with these children. In this last clip, I want you to watch as she talks to her 3-year-old. That's right, a 3-year-old. And she tells you that the 3-year-old should have been responsible enough to get herself up and get to preschool on time. But she let her sleep through preschool and then blames the 3-year-old for it. Mother of the Year. Let's watch this together.
Days ago was preschool. Eve slept in. She's notorious for sleeping in. And she woke up and I thought, you know what? I'm not going to wake her up, because every time I wake her up, she gets super grumpy and upset, and I have to literally drag her and get her dressed. And she's old enough to do that herself. And she missed preschool. She slept in and she woke up and she's like, I'm ready to go to preschool. I said, you know what? Preschool's over. You slept through it. I'm sorry. And she's like, what? And I said, you need to get up and get ready if you're going to go to preschool, because I'm not going to drag you out of bed. And so she...
Aren't you still paying for it, though?
Yeah, I still pay for it, but it's a lesson learned.
She can't control when she wakes up.
Apparently she can.
No, because I woke her up.
But she got up.
Because I dragged her out.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now again, in this video, I didn't focus very much on body language. Like I said, I will do that as further information comes out and she's dealing with police and she's dealing with lawyers and she's dealing with the court system. I will definitely be doing that because, again, those won't be as scripted for the YouTube channel and for any other shows that she's on. Instead, in this video, I was trying to focus to let you know this is what someone with what I, in my professional opinion, would say has narcissistic personality disorder. This is how they manifest those things. This is the type of thing that you will see with somebody who exhibits those behaviors. All right, guys, stay tuned. We have several more videos coming up very soon. I've been on vacation, so I haven't made any for a week and a half or so, but I have many more in the pipe, and I will see you in just a couple days.